Hello Yugioh, it's your friendly neighborhood Enthision here, and today, we are here to explore how absolutely cracked Buio the Dawn's Light is in the stained glass in the burning Labrynth deck. Now right off the bat, if you've been here before you know this deck list, but with the addition of 3 cards, Effect Monster, Buio the Dawn's Light, Spell card Mutiny in the Sky, and the Boss Monster, Loose the Dusk's Dark, this deck has a few new dimensions. Buio's effect states, monsters in your leftmost or rightmost main monster zones cannot be destroyed by card effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Buio the Dawn's Light once per turn. If this card is in your hand, you can target one fiend effect monster you control, negate its effect, and if you do, special summon this card. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one Mutiny in the Sky from your deck to your hand. Mutiny in the Sky allows you to fusion summon one fiend or fairy fusion monster from your extra deck, by shuffling fiend and or fairy monsters from your graveyard into the deck as material. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send one fiend or fairy monster from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard. Add this card to your hand. You can only use each effect of Mutiny in the Sky once per turn. And finally the Boss Mon. Loose the Dusk's Dark requires 3 fiend and or fairy monsters in your graveyard. And his effect is, monsters in your leftmost or rightmost main monster zones cannot be destroyed by card effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Loose the Dusk's Dark once per turn. You can target one card your opponent controls, send one fiend or fairy monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, destroy that card. If another card you control is destroyed by card effect, except during the damage step, you can target one card on the field, destroy it. Now that you know what they do, let's get into the spice. The reason Buio is so busted in this deck is because Cherubini can send it from deck to grave for cost. I mean, it triggers if sent to the graveyard at all, but it takes 2 monsters to make Cherubini, and in this deck 90% of the monsters are fiend. Any 2 monsters that can make Cherubini also can be used as fusion material if you send Buio to the grave. And this doesn't take you out of the way for your combo either. Depending where you are in the combo, let's say Tour Guide Special Rhino Warrior, link both into Cherubini. You can use the Rhino right away to send Graf, Archfiend Eris, Lilith Lady of Lament, or even Buio. Regardless, once you send Buio, you will search for Mutiny in the Sky, and then you will have access to 3 unique fusions, the first being the obvious, Loose the Dusk's Dark, the second being the Duke of Demise, which technically is zombie support, but also supports fiends, and the third would be the Wind Fiend, Aerial Eater. The Duke of Demise requires 2 zombies and or fiend monsters for fusion summon. He cannot be destroyed by battle. And if he's on the field with Loose or Cherubini, he won't be able to be destroyed by card effects either. He has the Archfiend clause. During your standby phase, pay 500 life point or destroy this card, which means he can trigger the effect of Master King Archfiend, which can send a card from deck to grave who has defense or attack equal to the life points you paid. But what makes him so great for this deck are these 2 effects. During your main phase, you can activate this effect. Immediately after it resolves, normal summon one monster. And you can banish this card from your GY, then target one level 4 or higher fiend or zombie monster in your GY. Add it to your hand. Sometimes we have our combo and still have a Tour Guide in hand, sometimes you just draw 2. Well, Tour Guide is not once per turn. If you can image, all the advantage we gain from summoning one Tour Guide, and lo and behold, this guy can allow you to summon 2 in the same turn. After you've used him for Linkro material, you can banish him from the grave to add to hand that same Tour Guide. He basically guarantees that you will have follow-up next turn. The next guy up is far more simple but just as effective, Aerial Eater. Aerial Eater requires 2 fiend monsters with the same attribute. If Aerial Eater is fusion summoned, you can send one fiend monster from your deck to the graveyard. And so if you send Buio off of the Rhino Warrior like we mentioned earlier, when you search Mutiny you can make this with the Buio and the Tour Guide, and this card can pitch the Eris to get you to the Ghastly Glitch, or the Lilith to get you to the Stained Glass, Labrynth, Barrage, or Glitch. Then if Aerial Eater is in your graveyard, you can banish 2 level 6 or higher fiend monsters with the same attribute as each other from your graveyard, except Aerial Eater. Special summon this card. You can only use each effect of Aerial Eater once per turn, which honestly speaking we can do but usually does not come up. Finally, we get to loose. At one time, Burning Abyss decks had the problem of not being able to get over monster with an attack over 2,500. Over the years, we have found many creative ways to out those monsters. Farfa, Pyro, Cerberus, Archfiend Eccentric, and even Ghastly Glitch, but now we have a 3,500 attack point monster, who in certain circumstances cannot be destroyed by card effect, and can send one card from deck to grave, to pop a card on opponent's field. It has big attack, protection for itself and others, removes cards from my opponent's board, and still pushes my own game plan forward. And remember, all of this for the low cost of absolutely nothing at all. Because Tour Guide into Rhino Send Buio is all the materials you need, and Buio adds the fusion spell just for touching the grave. If I wasn't so biased, I'd be pissed off. The fusion spell recycles itself from grave, at the cost of pitching one fiend from hand. Salamander Catalyzer adds itself back from grave when a fiend monster battles. Labrynth Chandelier comes back to hand from grave if a monster leaves the field because of my normal trap card, and both cards can send Buio to grave from hand. Basically, this deck can play forever. The level of consistency and harmony in these cards are ridiculous. I'm not saying this is the best deck, but I am saying it's one of the best unique decks I've ever played. As for the duel in front of your face holes, I'm sorry to say, this one is already over. While Keskov's Albaz deck isn't the most meta, I'm not even sure if that mattered. Loose checks the Mirror Jade straight up as it can attack over it. And the glitch set would just pop it anyway. The Sales Band top deck seals this game up for sure, as it can just turn off Mirror Jade, allowing Loose to pop it with no recourse. And then giving us a mill. We will add back the Mutiny in the Sky from their normal summon Tour Guide special anything into Cherubini. And pitch with Cherubini. Then we will fusion summon for the Duke of Demise. Flipping Glitch officially starts the recursion of cards I hadn't even used yet, like Labrynth Chandelier. But more importantly, will allow us through Eris to search another glitch. If time wasn't running out, we would have done more, but instead we are just going to swing. This will trigger Salamander, and now we have fodder to pitch, for the Chandelier to set the Labrynth Barrage from deck. Glitch plus Barrage. You know what that means, it's the 2-pop 2-drop combo. This combo is so potent that even in the land of Estonia they have fear of this deck because ICG Veskov Peeb Sisanema Oma Scoop Fossi Javalja Krapima Valjahite. That's Estonian for, Veskov just scooped the poop. Next. And here we are with the last duel of the day. We have a beautiful hand, but our opponent also has a beautiful hand as they start off strong, almost completely filling their board with Magician shenanigans. The Berry Magician into Shining Sark plays are very interesting. We are not sure what this deck does, but what it did was pretty impressive. They started with 5 cards and ended their turn with 8 cards and 2 negates. You have to respect that. But now it's our turn. We draw into a Labrynth Barrage. We start with the Sales Band to bait their first negate. Though we hadn't talked about it much, Buio can negate a monster's effect on field to special summon itself from hand, but it also protects monsters in the furthest monster zones from destruction. When combined with Rhino Warrior, no fiend monster on field can be destroyed by card effect. As you saw from there, playing the deck as normal, linking Buio and Rhino into Cherubini, you search Mutiny, send Eris to add Glitch, then you have the option to choose to go deeper into your own combo or pivot and face the board. We chose the latter, as we know the Berry Magician cannot summon and negate our effect because our opponent's zones are filled. Then we send from deck Chandelier, because we have both the Stained Glass and the Ghastly Glitch, and swing. We end up trading the Loose 1 card for 2, taking that 8 card board to 3, while maintaining our 6 cards we started with. We go for the Stained Glass Barrage combo, but our opponent responds with an Ash, so we pivot immediately for the 2-pop, 2-drop combo, sending Skarm and Farfa, triggering both the Farfa and the Chandelier in grave, allowing us to remove another card from my opponent's board, and sets me up with a Skarm add during the end phase, that can be sent as fodder for Chandelier's effect. The synergy is amazing. Funny enough, the monster Farfa banished was sent to the grave on return. So we draw into a brick, but it matters not. Chandelier will add us a Labrynth card, then Master King Archfiend, The card we've been neglecting shows its value by giving the Chandraglier right back to hand for a potential normal summon. But we decide to gamble again, when we discard the Chandraglier to the grave to add back Mutiny in the Sky. It ends up going back to the deck instead, unfortunately, but with this Mutiny in the Sky we will summon forth Aerial Eater, sending Eris and Chain blocking its effect with Master King. We add both the Ghastly Glitch and the Eris to hand. The turn player's time was running down, and so we cut a lot of play short as to not lose to timeout, which stretched this duel a little bit further than it would go. But even and especially in the grind game, this deck is exceptional, as the plays just never seem to stop. That attack gets us to the Skarm Search, which then gives us access to the best normal summon in our deck, Tour Guide from the Underworld. We have to give credit for our opponents staying in this duel, but we can all see the writing on the wall. We normal Tour Guide summon anything, in this case, Alec, which turns to a negate when sent to grave. Next we make Muckraker and try to negate with Alec, but Silent Swordsman speaks up for himself with a negate of his own, so we silence him forever with a Ghastly Glitch. We send Eris and Chain Chandraglier to set another barrage and add another glitch. At this point you've seen enough. Konami wave the white flag. Yugi grab a pistol. Taya show a nipple. Someone do something to help this poor, sorry duelist, for it is that time when the creatures on the stained glass in the burning labyrinth feed. And send this duelist from the land of a rising sun to the land where there is none. In the Shadow Realm. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We hope to see you again when you tune in to the next Enthision Theory.